Hey Dustin,
Just go.
that restaurant you like with all that shit on the wall?
Which one are you talking about? I got a few of them. We're good?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, hello. Welcome. I am EvilMog. This is Renderman. And this is How to Conduct Shenanigans Safely, a Con Stupidity Primer, as well as the release of a brand new tool, the Pre-Shenanigan Hazard Assessment Tool, or PSHAT. So, introductions. I'm EvilMog. My name is Redacted. I'm Redacted all the way across the board. You know the usual drill. Actually, hell with that crap. I'm Dustin Haywood. I work for IBM X-Force Red. I blow stuff up. I've somehow managed Renderman for 3 years. No idea how the hell that happened. I'm a bishop of the Church of Wi-Fi, member of Team Hashcat. That cluster in the drowned paper, I might have built it. And I'm the self-proclaimed shenanigan lead for DerbyCon.
All right, I'm Renderman. If you don't know who I am, just Google me. I'm the Pope, so I can excommunicate his ass if he pisses me off. Hack banks for a living. Hacked internet-connected sex toys for fun. Yeah, I've been going to like so many cons. I've lost track. Like I measure badges by the pound now. So
Cool. So why are we here? Well, we like shenanigans. I'm not going to define them. You know what they are. We do stupid stuff. That's just kind of the way things go. We have fun. We cause mischief.
we keep you entertained whether you want to be or not.
We do fun for fun's sake. And stupidity and silliness caused by too many brain cells and not enough booze. With that being said, why are we here? DerbyCon's changed a lot over the last 7 years. We've grown a lot as a conference. You know, stuff that used to be organic and tiny now needs rules and stuff. So I kind of had to write some policies and processes. And we run really good shenanigans. You know, pranks, jokes, silliness, intelligent stupidity have faded into history, sadly, so we want to bring the stupid back.
Anybody heard stories about the DEF CON back at the AP? You know, DEF CON at the AP, all the stupidity that went on there. Well, you can't get away with that sort of stuff at a casino nowadays. You know, too many cameras, too many laws, and guys with no neck and the middle name the, you know, willing to dig a hole in the desert for you. But we want to bring some of this back because shenanigans are fun, right? I mean, we're a bunch of really intelligent people spending all our time, you know, using our brains, doing amazing things. Sometimes it's just fun to use those brains to like do amazing things for the sake of being stupid. You know, we've all been there. Let's bring silly back. Come on.
Exactly. Make America silly again. And we also like not getting kicked out of conferences and venues. You know, these things kind of suck and put a damper in your career. And security staff are like really good shenanigans as well. But they will beat you for bad shenanigans, like really, really hard. So, we will now do the 9 commandments of, because we don't believe in stealing from the Catholics, so we can't have 10, so we're going with 9 commandments of shenanigans. So, commandment number 1 is don't hurt anybody by your shenanigan. Yeah, you can do stupid stuff, just, you know, you don't want to get kicked out, banned, don't be a dick, don't cause damage. Put yourself on the receiving end. If somebody came up to you and did your shenanigan, would you think it was funny? Or would you be really pissed off at somebody?
And the other thing, too, is that, you know, there are reporters running around. Sometimes, you know, shenanigans, you know, stupid stuff that we do ends up, you know, being seen by the public. Think about how that's going to look. You know, sometimes, yeah, it could be funny, you know, showing the lighter side of hackers. Other times, yeah, it might not react well. So, you know, pick your targets kind of situation. And basically anything that is, you know, harmful or hurtful or to anybody, that's generally a crime. So that's a whole other talk. You know, there's lawyers around that can cover that.
Yeah, try not to get arrested at DerbyCon. We don't have bail insurance for you.
I do.
Yes, I know you do. I don't have that bail insurance anymore. Anyways, on for commandment. Number 2, do the math. Now, where do the math comes from is we like to parachute stuffed animals from the 18th floor of the Hyatt. We spent 2 days, and we called out Chris Timmons over here for his assistance to do the math for dropping a stuffed monkey and a Moogle from the 18th floor. And we figured out, you know, if the parachute fails, would it hurt anybody, maim anybody, cause any other kind of damage? So if you're doing stuff like this, let's just be stupid or smart about being stupid.
And show your work.
Yeah, run your ballistic force calculations and compensate for failure and stick in an extra margin of error. Because the real world happens, engineering problems are hard. Air conditioning kicks in, blows your stuff off track, you know. Also, make sure you have somebody sober supervising your math and or your project, because what it makes sense while you're, you know, half drunk may not make sense in the morning. So have a sober sitter. Exactly, no jail cells. Also ensure there's an escape and abort plan. If things go horribly wrong, make sure you can run away and hide so nobody can arrest you. Or you can fix property damage and stuff like that. Either or, you do you. Also, if you're breaking rules, make sure security staff are engaged because they can bail you out.
Yeah, that's specifically like the goons for the conference because their job is fun enforcement. If you're doing something to prevent somebody else's fun, yeah, they're going to enforce.
The correct term is no longer goons here at DerbyCon. It's actually security staff. They hate being called goons here. Goons are goons at DEF CON. I've been corrected.
Okay. So, clean up. All right. So, a lot of stuff that we do, is like throwing things out into the lobby and, doing all sorts of crazy things. If you're doing that, have a plan to clean up. Again, fits in that whole don't be a dick thing. Have brooms nearby or cleaning supplies, have people around ready to, run in and take care of this. You've had your fun, great. Well, you're not done yet. You got to clean it up.
10:72.
Okay. So aim for about 10-minute cleanup. So if it's going to take you a lot longer than that, okay, maybe that's not the best plan. Avoid things like, the herpes of the craft world, glitter, stuff that gets everywhere, confetti, things like that, because that's just nasty to deal with. May require extra, bodies, cleaning supplies. I mean, I bought Stranger Things from the CVS down the street. I mean, what's another mop or two or something? And, should you propose this to the goons to say, hey, we're doing this, have a documented plan that, hey, yes, we actually have considered cleaning up and, don't want to make the janitorial staff's life any worse. I mean, consider the crap that we already put through them anyways, let's just not make it worse.
Alrighty, so my favorite part. Designated adults. Again, I covered this a little bit earlier, but you do not need to be drunk to enjoy a shenanigan. So the best shenanigans were done with a back of under 0.08. Ideas consumed. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Anyways, ideas conceived when you're drunk seem like a good idea at the time, but kind of suck the next morning. So make sure you have a
blanket statement, actually.
Yeah, I've seen your blanket statements. So if a good idea is so good when you're sober, have a sober adult check it out. Proceed with caution. It's a yield sign, not a go. Sober people may not enjoy your shenanigans, so keep that in mind and plan for it. Beer goggles are a thing. And if things involve heights, make sure all operators' back is below 0.04. Don't parachute stuff while you're a little tipsy, because you might drop the parachute, not have it deploy correctly, and hit somebody in the head.
2-beer rule.
2-beer rule. If you cannot operate a firewall, Unix, or a car, you cannot parachute something. Yeah, well, you're special. So yeah, also make sure somebody sober reviews your math, because drunk math is hard.
Well, it's creative. Let's put it
Yeah. Also, responsibility. You break it, you bought it. We're here in the States. You don't have the Canadian kind of insurance that we have and the escape from liability. So make sure you have a liability insurance plan, or you can run really fast. Plan for your failure and accept responsibility, or find somebody to frame. Also make sure you can buy drinks for folks, etc. Do some kind of restitution. And if you're pushing limits, people might push back. Be prepared for those things.
Yeah, so one example, Church of Wi-Fi, you see our stupidity, getting people indoctrinated and stuff, wandering around the Pope outfit and Bishop outfit and everything. I mean, how many of you have been spanked by us over the years? Four? No. So, yeah, okay, we're treading, a little on the edge of some religious stuff. We're not, necessarily taking, Catholic doctrine or anything like that. They just got really fun outfits, and they're easy as Halloween costumes. But some people didn't necessarily appreciate some of that, and we heard that, we had pissed off people, and we're like, went up, talked to them. It's like, we did not try to offend you. Like, what can we do to make this right? We were not there to offend or hurt. We felt really bad, and, worked it out with the person, when they realized that, we weren't actually like, poking fun at them, we were just doing our own thing. Like, okay, sorted it out. But it's that taking that responsibility. Don't let that nastiness fester.
Property damage. I'm calling this out explicitly because last year we had an issue. Anyone here remember those cherries that were handed out that people had some liquor, they got people really drunk? Somebody took one of those jars and threw it through the back of somebody's window as a shenanigan. Not cool. When we found out on Twitter, they had fully funded replacements for their windshield and restitution within like 5 minutes on Twitter. So You know, it's great we got that fixed up, but if you're doing something like booze, don't waste booze. It's a sin in the Church of Wi-Fi. And second, don't damage property. It's just not cool. It's called a crime. That's vandalism, and we don't condone that.
Damaging property with booze? Oh, you gotta think that something bad's gonna happen there.
We also saw some things at DEF CON this year that kind of pissed us off a little bit. People were putting stickers in places on the venue that were very hard to remove. Don't put stickers on the venue or permanently alter things. We like to be invited back. No matter where you go, make sure things be cleaned up. It's like the Burning Man rule. Pack it in, pack it out, clean up after yourselves. You're all adults. I'm not here to babysit you. I'm a big enough child as it is. I don't want to deal with freaking stickers and other bloody goo. Sorry, it's not happening.
Emergency fund. This is always a good idea. You know, depending on what you're about to do. I mean, you know, some of it's completely innocent. Some of it's okay. This could go a couple of different ways. Have an emergency fund. You know, be it for repairing damage. You know, paying somebody off, saying sorry. You know, things like that. Getting your ass out of jail, maybe. If there are problems, own them. I mean, it's one of those things. If you try to hide it, hide responsibility, it makes things worse. Own up to it, own that shit and just say, yep, we screwed up. We're here to make it right. What do we need to do? Have the funds immediately available to repair damage. Have a lawyer if needed. Always a good idea. And bail fund. And make sure that it's all being held by a third party that's probably sober and also not directly involved so they don't get arrested too, because that would, make the whole thing kind of pointless. And, should something go a little bit sideways, never underestimate buying somebody booze. Buying around for the place, when something goes splat, does make a lot of friends.
Did you buy before or after?
So I actually made this mistake when I was hitting somebody today with the paddle. I actually wound up for a swing and whacked somebody in the head. So he's like, oh, that hurts. So I bought him around on the spot, and he was happy with that. It could have gone, far more dangerous. But when you're doing shenanigans, also be aware of your surroundings, because innocent bystanders might be in the splash zone. So it's just one of those things. Make sure not only the person doing the shenanigan or receiving the shenanigan gets compensation, but if you permanently scar somebody emotionally or physically with your shenanigans, own up to it. So, on that note, do good. Even though we're the Department of Evil here at the Church of Wi-Fi, we believe in doing evil responsibly. Make sure things are here for having fun. We're the stress relief because we all have really high, tightly wound jobs, and this is purely for our own amusement and hopefully yours. So we try and make sure things are, who here remembers our tricycle races last year? So we donated those to
yeah. So the whole plan didn't go as we wanted to. We could actually go over to the parkade and race them down, race these like 3 little green machine tricycle things down the ramp at the parkade and have races and everything. It just didn't come together at the right time. But so we had them out in the lobby here, guys. When they say that, there's a 50-pound weight limit on these things, yeah.
It's not a Ben 10, 120.
Yeah, not Ben 10.
It's an actual 50-pound
yeah.
weight.
So, yeah, it was interesting watching some of these guys try to, cram themselves into these things. We had our fun. And so what we did afterwards with them was we were like, well, we don't want to bring these home. Okay, we've probably done enough damage to them that Walmart won't take them back. But, hey, Johnny Long's got the Hotel Louisville charity that he works for. He's doing work for. It's like, hey, they've got kids there, right? Families come in. You guys want them? Sure. So yeah, arranged with Johnny to donate these things to there, and apparently the kids absolutely loved them. So some residual goodness out of the whole thing. We had our fun. Kids had their fun. Everybody wins.
So the other thing to bear in mind is when you're doing a shenanigan, give people a chance to opt out. Like with our Church of Wi-Fi initiation, I will ask you, may I smack you in the ass with this paddle and can I give you booze? You have the option to say no, and I'm totally kosher with that. Same thing with the icing that goes on. You can opt out of these things. No shenanigans should ever be mandatory. We made this mistake one year when we were doing our first initiations back at DerbyCon 3. We were at the top of the escalators right before you went into the party. We were smacking everyone as they were going in. People thought it was mandatory to get into the party.
Why not?
We had a lineup, 300 people around the block to get initiated. I'm still getting tithes sent in from this, but people thought it was mandatory. So I just want to say I'm sorry for that. But yeah, make sure people can opt out. I'm the reason for rule number 7. So, commandment number 8, know thy venue. Who here's a first timer to DerbyCon? Who here's gone to DEF CON before? So, newsflash, DerbyCon is not DEF CON. What flies at DEF CON may not fly at DerbyCon. We're a little more kid-friendly. Yeah, literally and figuratively. We can do stuff around here that you couldn't at DEF CON, but likewise, there's kids around here during the day. So we try and keep things friendly during the day, but you have adult-themed at night. So just know your venue. If you go to, say, SkyDogCon or anywhere else, make sure you're prepared for that. If you're doing adult-themed shenanigans, make sure the kids are in bed. Like, if you put a giant dick in the elevator, make sure the kids can't see it, because adult questions are kind of hard. Also, again, don't permit alter the venue, and honor airspace restrictions in this hotel unless you have permission, because they will eject you.
They don't like drones.
They don't like drones. They don't like parachutes unless you pre-clear them, which we've usually get permission for now, usually. So, petty trespass. Know your venue. If you have elevator keys to sneak into various places, know what will get you arrested and what will not. Talk to the conference security staff. They will brief you as to shenanigans. They'll tell you what's good, what's not, what needs permission, what areas you should stay away from that will get you ejected, things like speaker green rooms. Don't trespass if your blood alcohol content's over 0.08. Again, the reason for this is certain areas might be safety sensitive. Like if you're in catwalks and you fall down to your death 18 floors, I don't want to see that. Don't damage property. Don't access hazard devices. Don't bypass safety devices. I know a lot of us have lockpicks. Please don't lockpick, lockout, tagout devices. Go into elevator shafts with drop keys. Play with the escalators. You might lose a finger or two. Don't go into falls areas. And confined spaces will kill you, so don't enter without SCBA equipment and have your bail money just in case.
All right, parachute operations. So as we said, we tend to, first year I was here, DerbyCon 3. Looked at the atrium like everybody else does. It's like, oh, something's got to happen here. Like this just screams for something to happen. So the next year, Mog and I actually managed to expense, because of this guy, 6 dozen little army paratrooper guys. The little dime store ones. And proceeded to drop all of them at the same time off the 18th floor. But we had actually done the math and figured out, things like, will they be able to drift over into those nice open elevator shafts? Because you can imagine what dropping something like that into an elevator shaft, who knows what kind of works it'll gum up. So having that kind of math, descent rate with the parachute, descent rate of your payload without the parachute, angle of descent. So if I go, it's not going to hurt him, like that. So, okay, yeah, if this guy hits terminal velocity, and it is possible to actually calculate the terminal velocity of a spherical monkey in a vacuum. But again, show your math. Have multiple spotters, videographers. You can never have enough video of this stuff unless it's used against you in a court of law. Get venue permission, because the Hyatt basically was like, we don't want people to start throwing things off, because how stuff can escalate.
Security's exact words were, if anything goes over the edge without our permission, we are ejecting you personally. So I was on the hook last year for any ejections into the airspace. They know it's me. So if you throw something in that airspace, they'll assume it's me. So please don't put it into the center atrium, or else I will hunt you down. Oh, also, most important thing, use rocketry-rated ripstop nylon only. Do not use cheap plastic parachutes. Don't use crappy-ass cloth. That's tolerable because U.S. Army issued and certified. We typically use ripstop nylon rocketry-rated parachutes from Amazon or from Apogee Rockets.
For anybody looking for the math, JPL put out an online calculator for that recently.
Yeah, JPL put out a calculator for parachute. Yeah. I don't know.
All right.
Oh, and just so you know, the hotel has actually been very cool with all our drops, to the point where the front desk staff are saying, give us a 5-minute warning because we want to come out and watch too. Like, they've dreamed about doing this stuff, so.
Yeah, they love us. So, here's the most important important thing. So goons are not called goons anymore, they're called security staff. Security staff will assist you. They'll escort you into restricted areas. So if you want to take a clown and surprise Dave Kennedy on stage with it, if you clear with Zero and Paul, they will walk you through the back secret entrances and they'll arrange your stuff. So work with them. They love these kind of things. They will also hide you from Aaron and Dave because we don't want to piss off either of those two.
Especially if there's a clown involved.
Yeah, if there's a clown involved, hide from Aaron and Dave. They will hide you. They'll also give you ideas during the pre-shenanigan consulting phase, which brings me on to the next topic after this. We have a pre-shenanigan hazard assessment tool we're going to do a demo of here. They'll give you access to restricted spaces, act as your spotter, get venue permission. The shenanigan just has to be cool and funny enough. And security staff really love shenanigans. So in that note, I'm going to move on to the pre-shenanigan hazard assessment tool, unless Renderman has any closing remarks before demo.
No. Basically, be safe, be stupid, but intelligent stupid. Right? I mean, what do we got up here? I got, big ass, punching balloons from, dollar store, gliders and stuff like that. That's all, going to happen over the next couple of days. The stuff doesn't have to be hugely complex or anything like that. But when was the last time you saw like 6 dozen little army paratroopers, dropped 18 stories? Not many people have.
Cool. So on that note, I made a new tool I call the Pre-Shenanigan Hazard Assessment Tool, or PSHAT. And yes, it's online. Yes, it's on GitHub. But so we're going to go over to psha.mog.ninja. Yes, that's a real domain. And what you do is you fill out the name of your shenanigan. No, one sec. There we go. So, when you fill this out, we are doing Operation Evil. EvilMog Renderman. Write a shenanigan plan. Renderman. One sec. Render is dropping a monkey from a parachute. Requirements: parachutes,
Monkey,
bail money, monkey. So, potential injury types: blunt force trauma. We also have things like stabbing, slicing, heat, cold, burns, poison. I mean, you never know what these kind of shenanigans.
Look at all that OSHA.
Exactly. Yeah, this is now actually mandatory for all shenanigans here at DerbyCon. It is the new standard. So for this, we have kinetic energy hazards. So we'll check that off. No chemical hazards except for alcohol, probably drugs, maybe if you're high on cold medication. Church or Wi-Fi in this case is a hazard. You might be dealing with locals, probably some clowns, hotel security, fatigue, stress, alcohol again, maybe some mild bar violence, and a couple of minors. Blood and bodily fluids is a possibility. We have viruses, fungi, mold, all the usual stuff. Gravity is a potential hazard in this case. Arrest. Huh?
And the law.
And the law. That's next, actually. Security, lifting and handling loads. Possibly polygraph machines and handcuffs. Slipping and tripping hazards. Noise, lighting, temperature. Renderman's involved, so we have vibration hazards with his dildos. So enforcement hazards. We'll call out who will potentially arrest you if you guys screw up. So we have bar bouncers, depending on that's hotel security, conference security, private security, possibly Leos. We don't have state or federal or TSA out here as an issue, but that could be going home. We get permission from conference security and the hotel, and occasionally local Leos. We need escorts, spotters, parachutes, safety plan, bail money, an escape plan in case you need to run really fast. Possibly elevator keys, lockpicks, fall protection, and wardrobe and safety gear. So,
Look good while you're doing shenanigans.
We ran math. Stuff looks good. No damage to people or property. And Paul says, I'm cool. So you hit submit. Oh. Wait.
I hate when that happens.
Goddamn Wi-Fi. In church. No, all right, one sec.
Get refreshed.
No, I'm turning my Wi-Fi back on. I've angered the demo god. Who's doing the active defense in this zone?
It's
Actually, my jammer's actually in my backpack. One sec.
So what it ends up doing is it's spitting out properly formatted JSON that you can then submit to Paul for approval. So it's he can take it in, he can at it.
Alright, so in theory, if this ever connects, it will output a properly formatted JSON that you then send off to Paul in its entirety. He can process it however he wants. This is a standardized method of shenanigan information exchange.
And it is kind of cool that you did it all in the URL.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm completely lazy. It's all in the URL. All this thing on the Flask does is calls Python JSONify and outputs it straight to your thing. So there's no security risk. I'm not sending the mail for you because I don't trust none of y'all. Well, let's try to see if I can actually have interwebs. Because I don't want to... Son of a... One sec, so Belkin's not going to work. Hyatt Wi-Fi, let's try this again.
That's obviously legitimate.
It's... Yeah, you're legitimate. Starbucks guest?
It's without JSON, son.
Yeah.
It outputs JSON. Screw you all with your demos. Thank you.
Let's go drop some shit.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I almost forgot, we are parachuting a stuffed animal or two and 6 dozen plastic army men at about 10 o'clock from the 18th floor. There will be spotters. Bring your kids, bring your cameras, and please don't sue me because this stuff's under MIT Don't Sue Me license. And IBM has no responsibility or acknowledgement of this talk. I don't represent them. My opinions are mine and mine alone.